So Mario, we're going to get started. We're on.
Before we start, when is it tomorrow? Because I have a little bit of a problem tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow, we can do it in the morning if you want.
I'm okay with that. I don't know the others.
What time? 8? 8:30?
8 o'clock works.
8
Okay.
o'clock.
I gotta
Okay.
retire to keep up with you guys. I'll tell you.
8 in the morning. 8 in the morning.
That's fine.
Great.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
Okay.
So Kuf Yud Beis, Amud Aleph. The Mesocher v'lo Mashiyadeh, somebody who bloodletting and he didn't wash his hands, Mafkid Shiva Yomi. It will cause him to have fear. He won't even know why he's fearful, but a person will be fearful for 7 days. The Shokol Mazi v'lo Mashiyadeh, somebody who takes a haircut and doesn't wash his hands will cause him to be Mifchid Tlasa Yomi. He'll be fearful for 3 days. Again, this has to do with kishuf. The shakal tufrei v'lo mashiyadeh, somebody who cut his fingernails and doesn't wash his hands. Mifchid chad yoyma. He'll be afraid for long. V'lo yada might come mifchid. He's not really sure what's causing him to be afraid. Yada ausa darga lefagda. That means if you put your mouth by your spoon, you put your hands on your cheeks. So that's like a certain level of pachad. Yada aputa, your hand on your temple, darga l'shinasa. That is a way to fall asleep. If you rub your temples. Tana, oichlun mashkin tachas amita. So you should not put food or drink under your bed. Afilu mechupin b'chlei barzel, even if it's locked in a steel box. Ruach ra shoira alein. There's an evil demon that is on it, and so it's not a good idea. Ton rabbanon, lo yishta adamayim lo b'leili revius lo b'leili shabbosos. Person should not drink water Tuesday night and Friday night. V'im shasa, if he drinks those nights, dama b'roishay. V'ibnei sakana, there's again a demon. My sakana ruach ra, there's an evil spirit on water those nights. Now, im tzach, if he's thirsty, my takanti, what should he do? So, Nema, he should recite Shiva Kol Shomer David Lamai, the Mizmor LeDavid. V'hadar nish, Shnemer Kol Hashem Lamayim, Ela Kovid Yirim Hashem Lamayim Rabim, Kol Hashem Bakor, Kol Hashem Bahadar, Kol Hashem Shover Rozim, Hashem Hashem Arzalvonon, Kol Hashem Chaytziv Lavo Yisech, Kol Hashem Yachil Midbar, Yachil Hashem Midbar Kodesh, Kol Hashem Yichol HaYolos, V'yechsof Yarsu V'yechol Kol Omer Kovad. If you recite that, then you can drink water. Now, if you don't remember that, V'lo, Neimach, you should say Lul Shafan Anigron Anirdefin. These are names of the various shadim that are involved in this. You should say Ben Koichve Yosivna. You should recite, I am sitting between the stars. Ben Bli Shmeine Azilna. Those that were the fat ones that were swallowed, that's where I'm going. It's like an incantation. Now, the elo, if you don't know that incantation, so if you have another person with you, nisare, you should wake him up. V'leimale, and say to him, planya bar planta, that means your name, the son of your mother. Sachina maya is thirsty for water. V'hadanish, and then you can drink. Now, let's say you don't have another person with you, v'ilo, mekarkesh nichtama achatzpa. You put some kind of covering on the cup you're drinking, or you bang it. You bang some covering on the coast and then drink. V'ilo nishte b'midi v'hadar. You put something by hand, you throw something in the water, and then you can drink. Because I guess whatever spell was put on this water will be removed if you throw something in there. Ton rabbanon lo yishta adamayim lomina nahar. A person shouldn't drink water directly out of a river. V'lomina agamim, not out of lakes. Balayla, because there are demons there. V'im shasa dama barosho. If you do drink, you're taking your life in your own hands. My sakonas shavriri. It's a demon that causes blindness. The eat sachi, if you're thirsty, what should you do? Maitakante. So iki inish bade, if there's another person with you, lema plan planya bar planta. Again, you should recite your name, the son of your mother. Tzachine maya is thirsty for water. Now, ve'ilo, if there's no other person there, nema ilanafshe, he should say to himself, planya, you should call yourself by your name. Elimelech, amrli imi is darmishavriri. My mother told me I should be careful from blindness. Briri riri, yari riri, tzachina maya bakase chivri. This, I'm going to drink water in white glasses, and this is a skula to the various demons that we mentioned, which is shavriri, briri, riri, yiri, ri. Okay. Then the Mishnah said that afilu min atamchui, even a poor person who is supported by the community chest, you have to provide him money for daled koisos. Pshita, I mean, minadin, if that's what he requires, why would we think that you didn't provide it for him? So, loy nitzrach, the chiddush is, elafil Rabbi Akiva. The Omar, asay Shabbat chachol v'al titzrach lebrios. Rabbi Akiva had a rule that a person, rather than subject himself to collecting money, he should make a Shabbos like he should prepare for Shabbos like he prepares the rest of the week. It means he doesn't have to go all out for Shabbos because he doesn't have the money for it.
What does that have to do with matzah and v'dalet kosas? That's what you need. I mean, how's that a contradiction to that statement?
No, because Rabbi Akiva would say, you know what? My rule is a person should not go to the community chest to collect for Shabbos if he can get by with just what he normally eats Monday night, Tuesday night. It's more important to do that than to have extra for Shabbos. So I guess the Havamina of the Gemara was, well, maybe Rabbi Akiva would hold you don't need Dalet Koisos because it's an extra, it's extra that is for Yontif. But maybe you might think that because of Rabbi Akiva's rule, we don't have to give him extra money for the Koisos. So the Gemara answer is no. Since the Dalet Koisos has to do with spreading the nace of Mitzrayim, it has nothing to do with having Dalet Koisos because you're having a more festive meal. And therefore, on Shabbos we don't, but on Yontif we do because it's more festive. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's a din in Persumei Nisa. And therefore, even Rabbi Akiva would be moide. Tan ve'elio, afal pi shomer Rabbi Akiva, asay Shabbat chachol v'al titzrach lebrios. And even the Rabbi Akiva has said this rule that you should have your Shabbos like a regular weekday meal rather than go to the, collecting at the doors. He should do something special on Shabbos. My niu. On Rapapa Casa de Arsenos, he should have like sardines, fried, little fried fish. Something special he should make that's not expensive, but he should make something special for Shabbos. Kidisnad, Rabbi Yehuda ben Tema Oimer, have they az kenamir? You should have azus. You should be mischazek the mitzvahs. The kal kanesher, light like a namir is a leopard. Kal kanesher, light like an eagle. Ratz katzvi, right? You should be fast like a deer. Gibor ka'ari. Lasos ritzon avicha shebashamayim. To do a mitzvah, you should go beyond your means. Ton Rabbanon. Shiva Dvorim Tziva Rabbi Akiva's Rabbi Yoshua Beno. Rabbi Yoshua ben Korcha was the son of Rabbi Akiva. Why is that? Because Kereach means a bald person. And Rabbi Akiva was bald. So Rabbi Yoshua ben Korcha was the son of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva sort of gave him the following rules. B'ni, al teisha b'gov shalir v'tishne. Don't sit and teach Torah or learn Torah at a high point where a lot of people travel. What's going to happen? They're going to stop and ask you questions, and it's going to be mavatl you from your learning. Then al tader be'ir shorashet tamid chachamim. Don't live in a city where the city is governed by tamid chachamim. Since tamid chachamim are busy learning Torah, they really can't take care of the city in a proper way. So better not live in such a city. don't don't walk into your house suddenly. You're not sure what you're going to find there. Just knock on the door. Maybe the person's doing something that requires tznius. Certainly when you knock on your neighbor's door. Always wear shoes because it's dangerous to your health if you go burvus. Hashkem ve'echol, wake up early to eat breakfast. So you have strength to deal with the heat. And in winter because of the cold. Then he said, it's better to have a lesser Shabbos than have to go collect at the doors. Says, you should be mischaber with somebody who's fortunate. We see that he's matzliach. So you know what? You should hang around such a person because it'll rub off on you. Not to sell him things or buy things from him. Try to be his partner. And we see that he has a lot of atzlacha. So it's good to be a partner with such a person. So Hashadam Rav Shmuel Bar Yitzchak might receive Maaseh Yodav Beirachta, that the work of your hands got blessed. And what does that mean? Whoever took a penny from Eov, he got blessed. So therefore we change our mind. To sell him something or buy things from him is also good. From a guy who's we see that he's matzliach. 5 things Rabbi Akiva instructed one of his most important talmidim. We know that after the 24,000 talmidim passed away, Rabbi Akiva went down to the Negev, to the Darom, and he gave smicha to 5 talmidei chachamim, Rab Shimon, Rab Yehuda. So the main protagonists that we've seen in Masechta Shabbos, right? Dover Shem Iskavein. There's Rab Yehuda and Rab Shimon. Melacha Shein Tzrich Lagufa. Machlokas Rab Yehuda, Rab Shimon. This is, of course, Rab Shimon everywhere in Shas is Rab Shimon ben Yochai. And Rab Yehuda, so Rab Yehuda and Rab Shimon were 2 of the 5 Talmidim. There was Rab Meir, there was Rab Yosi, I forgot the 5th. But anyways, we pretty much have all of Torah Sheba'al Peh from these 5 Talmidim. That's why Stam Mishnah is Rab Meir. I mean, the Masorah of Torah Sheba'al Peh went from Rabbi Akiva to Rab Meir to Rab Yehuda Nasi, who Rab Meir was one of the Rebbeim of Rab Yehuda Nasi. So we see this close connection between Rabbi Akiva and Rab Shimon ben Yochai. So he gave instructions to his son, but we see he gave instructions as well to Rab Shimon ben Yochai. And this already was Kishai Chavish B'Veis Asurin. This already when the Romans had already put Rabbi Akiva in jail for teaching Torah publicly, and they were going to kill him. He's going to be executed from that prison. Amar Rabbi Lamdeni Torah. So Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai said to his Rebbe, teach me Torah. Amar, Eini melamdecha, I'm not teaching you, it's a sakana. Amar lo, imena tam melamdeni, ani omer lo yochai abba moisrech lamalchus. I mean, if you don't teach me, I'm going to tell my father, I mean, what else? I mean, you're already in jail. How can it get worse? Amar lo b'ni, yoisemi masha'egel roitzelino, par roitzeleni. You don't understand. More than the calf wants to suck milk, the mother wants to give milk more. Trust me, I would love to do it, but it's a sakana. Amr lo, so Rabbi Shimon said, Umi b'sakana. What do you mean? Who's in danger? You think you're in danger? V'lo egel b'sakana. The Talmud without Torah, I'm in sakana. Amr lo, im bikashta lechanech, hayitola be'ilan gadol. Well, if you want to choke yourself, at least you will have the words of an ilan gadol. That means if you're going to give a public drasha and you give it the name of a great an Adam Gadol, it'll be listened to. Then it says, when you teach your son Torah, make sure you teach him from a book that doesn't have any errors. Now, what's this all about? You know, when you teach somebody something initially, if you teach him something wrong, once he learns it for the first time, he's going to think that it's very hard to get a wrong idea out of somebody's head. Then he said, "Lo tavashel b'gder shabishel b'chavercha." Don't cook in a kli that your friend cooked in. What is this? That means don't marry a divorcee while her first husband, is still alive. The Amar Garush Shanasa Grusha, a man who got divorced from his wife, who married a divorcee himself, Arba Deas Pamita. There's like 4 people in bed with each other because each person is thinking about the other partner as well as their new partner, so it's too much of a confusion. B-boy Sema Afilu Balmona. Some say it's not even with an almana. Marry a widow. Lefi she'en kol etzbo shavos. Not all fingers are the same, says Rashbam. Aver tashmish, the organ of relations, they're not all the same. Umitoch she'en tashmish zeh noach lakashal rishon. The tashmish of this guy is not as comfortable for her, so she will hate him. So that's an advice. Don't marry an almana. You'll be compared. So then he said like this: mitzvah v'guf gadol. There's a mitzvah, and then you could benefit. Your body could benefit from the mitzvah. What's the best example of that? Oichel peres v'loy sochar. It means if you're going to make a loan to somebody, so you should take as a collateral a piece of land as a collateral. And then when you eat payros from that land, you deduct, you can't, if you borrow $1,000 and you take a mashka and you eat payros, so that's interest. So you're not allowed to do that. But you can eat payros from the land and deduct the value of the payros that you ate from the loan. So you're doing a mitzvah, you're lending somebody money, and you're benefiting from it as well. Mitzvah v'guf tohar, performing a mitzvah when you have a clean body. No se isha v'lo banim, somebody who gets married and has children. So he's Makai mitzvah pru'urvu and he remained tohar. Now, since we got into this concept of talking about final statements, will and testament, Arbet Vorim Tzivu Rabbeinu HaKodesh Esbanav. Rebbe taught his children the following: Al tidor b'shechansiv. Don't live in this town in Bavel Shechansiv. Mishum de leitzone avi mashchulach b'leit. They're like clowns. They're jokesters, and they'll be moishech you with their jokes. Val teshav al mitas haramis. Don't sit on the bed of a non-Jewish woman. Some say is because, meaning don't go to sleep without saying Kriya Shema. It was like a statement that meant that. He meant the loitins of Giyursa. He wanted to say, don't marry a convert. Vikidiyami are mois mamish. Don't sit on the bed of a shiksa. Mishum Rav Papa. There was a case of Rav Papa who sat on the bed of a non-Jewish Roman matron, and they had killed, or they had a dead child underneath the bed, and they wanted to do like a libel against Rav Papa based on that. And Rav Papa did not sit on the bed, and so because of this Ma'aser Shaya, you shouldn't even sit on a bed. Don't try to avoid paying taxes. The government's going to come after you, and they're going to take all of your assets anyways if you didn't pay. So pay your taxes. Don't stand in front of an ox when he comes out of the meadow. He's angry. He could do damage to you. We're talking about a black ox of Yomi Nisan, springtime. An ox who has never gored before, you should stay at least 50 amas, 100 feet away from it. Mishor mu'id kamolainav. A shor mu'id, as far as you can see him, you should stay away. That's a mu'id, is someone who is gored 3 times. Rav Meir, Reish Tor b'dikula. Even if the ox is still, if his food is in a basket, he's eating, you should run up to the roof, right? run up to the roof. Shadi darga mitut and sakli igra, run up to the roof and take the ladder from underneath you. It means that's how far away you should run. Amarav, niza de Torah. What do you say to an ox? To get him to go somewhere. Hein hein. Niza de aryeh. What do you say to a lion? Zeh. Niza de gamel. What do you say to a camel? Da da. Niza de arba. What do you say to a boat? Hilni haya hila v'hilo kulya. I don't know what the meaning of that is in terms of whether that's to get away from demons of the boat or no that like the sailors when they're pulling the rope. This is what they would sing as they did the work. Amrabaya, or dog. No, I'm sorry. Or leather, dog, fish. Kos chaim in hot water, beitzim, eggs, vikinim, levanim, white, lice, kulan kashan l'davar. They can all cause leprosy. Or leather, man degani amishcha ditzala. Somebody who slept on leather that was tanned. Dag shibuta b'yom nisan. Shibuta is a type of.
He says it's before it was 10.
Before unfinished.
Before it's 10. He stepped on leather that before it's 10.
Yeah, Rashban says Ayashana or kodim shetik maravidah sotzolin. Yeah, before it was processed. Then it says dag shibuta b'yom nisan, eating this fish, the shibuta fish in springtime. The kos that we're talking about is shiuri kasa da harsna. He's leaving leftover of the fried fish. Chamin refers to chamimi, the chamimi mishadri loy. That's hot water, too hot, that he spills on himself. So that could lead to leprosy. Beitzim is manta madrecha klipis, somebody who steps on the shells of eggs. Kinim levanim, this is the lice, is manda machver levushet, somebody the lonat to lay tam yom v'hadar lavushla. He laundered his clothing, but he didn't wash it for 8 days. And he wore it. You could have new lice there. So v'kashal davar acher, we said it's bad for leprosy. Amrav Papa Beita de Ishbe Shunra, a house that's got a cat. Lo neilbo inish below masani. You shouldn't go in without wearing shoes. My timer. Mishum de Shunra kata lechivyo. Cats will kill snakes. V'achale, and eats the snakes. V'ispe bechiv garmi ktani. The snake has small bones, and the cat is going to have waste product. The Yosef Lagarma the Chiva Akara is going to step on these bones. It's not easily taken out of your foot. The Istakim and it's going to cause, it's dangerous. Ikid Yami based on the Lo Beis Shunra. Here there's the opposite. A house that doesn't have a cat, Lo Neil Be'inish, Ba'akara. Person should not go into such a house at night. A snake will wrap itself around you, won't know a mistaken. Shlosha Devarim Tzir Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yossi is Rebbe. Rabbi Shmuel, the son of Rabbi Yossi, instructed Rebbe, Al tas mun ba'atzmacha. Don't wound yourself. Mahi, lo tevel chadina ba'adi tlosa. Don't get into a judgment with 3 people. Because the chadavi ba'adin chotrei sadi. Because what will happen is, one of the guys they'll make a conspiracy against you. They'll become a baldin, and he'll say, and he's convincing the other 2 to be aiding for him. Don't go into a store thinking that you're going to buy something and you don't really have money in your pocket to buy it. After your wife goes to the mikveh, you should not necessarily have relations with her the first night. You should wait till the next night. Amarav uvenida daraisa. This is a halacha by a nida midaraisa. Hoil v'chuchzik mayin pasuach. Because Minat Torah, a woman who has 7 days of nidus bleeding followed by 11 days of zivus bleeding. So if she bled all 7 days, but then she stopped bleeding for 2 hours, she could technically go to the mikveh that night and live with her husband. However, Rav says, since her uterus was open 2 hours ago, we should wait at least 24 hours. Now, we don't follow Doraisa law. We now treat every woman blood as if it's the 3rd day of being a Zava Gedola, and we have to count Zay Nikiyim. So that's why he said, in the Oraisa, it would work to the next day. Shlosha Dvarim Tzvi Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yudis Rebbe. Al Tetzei Chibela, don't go out at night by yourself. Val Tamad B'ftei Ner Orim, don't stand in front of a candle without any clothing. Val Tikanis Lamerchad Chodesh, don't go to a new bathhouse. Shemati Pachas, it'll explode. Ad Kama, what's considered new? Arish Ben Levi, Ad Shnei Masar Chodesh, 12 months. Val Tamad B'ftei Ner Orim, don't stand in front of a candle naked. The Tanya, Orim B'ftei Ner Orud, Havi Nichpe, you could become epileptic. Somebody who has relations with a candle, Havi Lobonim Nichpin, his children, Chas v'Sholom, would become epileptic. If you have relations with a child on the bed, the child can become epileptic. As long as he's not a year old. If he's already a year old, it's not a problem. It's a problem if the child sleeps at the foot of the bed. If he's sleeping at the head of the bed, less than bo. And it's only if you didn't put your hand on the child. If you have your hand on the child, less than bo, then there's no danger. What about al tetzei balayla? The Tanya lo yetzei balayla lo b'leil revius lo b'leil shabbosos. Not Tuesday night, not Friday night. Midnei sha'agris bas machlas. There's a demon called bas machlas. He ushmona esrei ribo, 18 times 10,000, 180,000. Shomalecha chabala yoitzim. All right. Each one can do danger by themselves. It used to be they were present every day. One time, this demon met up with Chanina. Amrle, he laughed in Machros and Allah Barakia. He's Rabbi Chanina of Torah. So if it wasn't for the fact that they announced in Shamayim, be wary of Rav Chanina and his Torah, Sakantich, I would have damaged you. Amr law. So if I'm considered a big person in Shamayim, then goizrani alach shelo tavor, but you should loyal. Then I'm goizer on you that you should never be among people. Amr lebi matusa minech. So he begged him, Shavakli revacha por, give me a little opening. So Shavakli lele shabbos for lay revius. So he gave him Tuesday night and Friday night. This is another story. The demon met Abaya. Amrle, he loved Machrizi alach b'rakif. If it wasn't for the fact that in Shemaim they publicize about you, he's Zarben Achmein of Sayraso. Be careful about Abaya and his Torah. Obviously, I would have damaged you. Amr loy chashvina b'rakif. If I'm considered a big person rakia, goizrani alaichi shlo tavor b'yishuv lo'olam. I'm goizer on you that you should never travel among people. Abaya didn't work. Amri hanik zaisa ninu. These were the lower roads. The Shamti Susa, V'asi Devari Luhu. In general, they only go on these special roads, but not in a regular place where people are. Okay, so Mirz Hashem will learn tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock.
Okay, great.
Shkoyach,
Thank you.
shkoyach.
Thank you.